Speaking of the economy, now again, if you're a Democrat right now, if you're smart, and again, I don't mean to give advice to people who I hope continue to lose from here until the end of time, but if you are smart and you're a Democrat, the thing that you are focusing in on is not a continuing resolution. It is not even Doge, which by and large is actually doing pretty popular things. Most Americans don't like waste, fraud, and abuse. Whatever they think of Elon Musk and whatever the media's take on Musk is irrelevant. The real question is whether Americans like somebody going through the books and firing people who are useless on the federal government payroll. They're focusing in on the
He's not exclusively firing people who are useless.
wrong thing. The obvious thing they should be focusing in on is the tariff controversies that are being driven by President Trump, because they have a pretty clear narrative win when it comes to the idea that this is creating havoc in the markets. Yesterday, U.S. stocks slid. The S&P 500 closed in correction territory, down more than 10% from its record high in February, according to CNN. The Dow ended the day down 537 points, 1.3%. The S&P 500 fell 1.39%. The NASDAQ was almost 2% lower. The sell-off extended a route in U.S. markets that has been driven by the uncertainty around Trump's tariffs. And by the way, you can see this happening in real time. When President Trump does a presser, you can see the actual stock market reaction to his presser based on his answers. You'll be watching on the main screen talking about tariffing the EU, and you'll see the Dow Jones Industrial Average dip from green into red as he talks, because the markets react very quickly to what President Trump is saying. And as I've said before, even the sort of flip-flop appearance of chaos with regard to these tariffs is bad for markets. Uncertainty is just bad for markets. This is a point that the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, was making. And I really hope that President Trump is taking advice from his quite brilliant Treasury Secretary. And Bessent is an excellent pick. He knows exactly what he's doing. Here he was, making the case for what the administration really is focusing on, or at least should be focusing on.
As I told the Business Roundtable yesterday, as I tell your viewers, what we're trying to do is create economic certainty. We're going to do it with the tax plan. We're going to do it with deregulation. And I also said to the Business Round, I think it was 135 CEOs yesterday, if you came out with a plan similar to what Doge wants to do with the federal government, all your stocks would go up 15 or 20%. It would be considered a miraculous restructuring, cost savings, and put you on a sustainable course.
And that, of course, is that's the stuff that Trump really needs to focus in on. Unfortunately, the stock market has now dropped. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has dropped from a high on February 19th, which again is less than a month ago, of 44,627, all the way down to yesterday's close at 40,813. Okay, which means that the stock market has now dropped something like 3,700 points, almost more than 8% over the course of the last month. Okay, so that should be a winning case for Democrats, right? This is what they should be focusing in on. James Carville has been making this case. Again, I think James Carville is a schmuck, but James Carville is not stupid. And when he says, wait around for your opponent to make the mistake, that, of course, is good political advice.
Yeah, so this is an interesting point from Ben Shapiro. Obviously, I disagree with him on Doge. I think Democrats should hammer Trump and the Republicans on Doge because it's unconstitutional, the things Elon Musk is doing, as well as just plain reckless, gutting the administrative state, firing employees who are not useless, plenty of very worthwhile employees. He now has been ordered to reinstate those employees, and also they've accidentally fired some like way too soon, and they've been begging for them to come back. So it's a horrific look. He's firing bird flu experts. Really not good considering the times. So yeah, tariffs. Ben Shapiro is a free market guy, and he's not afraid to criticize Trump over his anti-free market posture on tariffs. So this is a good point from him for the most part. I think he's actually really taking into account the effects of what Trump's saying, not just saying, hey, I disagree with it, but hey, this can lead to negative consequences. And he's become a lot more deferential to Trump as the years have gone by. In 2016, obviously, he was super critical, but it's good to see that he's still willing to push back on him a little bit. Obviously, he still voted for him, and he'll still continue to act like he's a great president. But yeah, Trump is not entirely consistent in his free market messaging. Obviously, Doge is just free market fundamentalism, dismantling the administrative state and getting good, effective government out, and basically saying, hey, hands off the economy to the government. But the tariff thing, yeah, it's something that traditionally conservative individuals do not necessarily like. And I feel like if Trump were against tariffs, people on the right would be more willing to call out tariffs as well. They'd say that it's socialism, that it's big government nonsense, and they would correctly point out that it's a tax. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. This has been the More is the Merrier. Thank you for watching.